What's up, guys and gals? Welcome back to the Nerdcast for the next episode of The Long Dark. So things got a little bit out of control. We went fishing in the previous episode, and on my way back, I got attacked by a wolf in the fog, and so that's why our health is where it's at. We didn't kill the wolf. The wolves actually got buffed in one of the previous patches. They're a little bit stronger than they used to be. I never searched this cupboard. I am a terrible survivalist. Luckily, there's nothing inside of it, but still, this will be a storage area for us. I'm gonna throw all my clothing and stuff in here, and so let me grab random clothing. Actually, we should probably get a fire started. Shouldn't we? Yeah, in the interest of surviving long term, we almost froze to death in the blizzard too. It was not pleasing. There's a 0 chance of success with that right there. We don't have a fire striker just yet. Okay, well, we've only got reclaimed wood, so I don't want to waste my time right there. Give me the cedar real quick. Actually, we got a book right there. That'll work. Give me the book. Books burn like crazy in this game. They work out great. It'll give you a 91% chance of success. So if you're trying to start a fire real quick, a book is a great place to start. It'll ignite the fires of your imagination, and it will also ignite the fires of your furnace so that you can cook your fish dinner, make your craft dinner, and then go to bed. We don't have craft dinner here. I figure it's just like, what is it, like mac and cheese or something? I don't know. We have craft macaroni and cheese, which comes in like a blue box, and I don't know. People have told me it's not the same thing. Like, I have conferred with my Canadian compatriots, and they have said that craft dinner is not the same thing as mac and cheese, and so obviously someone will have to fill me in on that one. Let's add some fire right here. I think we have a good chance to get a lot of our condition back tonight. The unfortunate part is that I didn't bring my gun, and that's of course when a wolf decided to attack. So let's add as much fuel as we can here, and what I want to do is I want to cook up some of this bass. That's all that I care about for right now. If we can get the bass taken care of, we can eat that. That'll make sure that we're full up on calories for tomorrow. We got 2 bass, and so each bass basically buys us about a day. I think that, oh, that didn't take that long. Let's cook another one right here. We can't afford to get dehydrated or anything right now because we are sort of sitting on the precipice of death. We're not in horrible condition, but we're not in good condition either. I'm gonna cook that lake whitefish so that I can store it for later. That's right, come on, continue cooking. It's all fine. Make the fish better for my consumption. Not a fish fan, actually. Not a fish fan, personally. Never have been, don't think I ever will be. I just don't enjoy, I think it's because I didn't grow up eating fish very often, and so it's just not a thing that I see as just like a meal, I suppose. Like, I just don't enjoy it. I like lemon pepper salmon and things like that, but by and large, it's very, very rare that somebody knows how to cook fish in a fashion that I like. Like, I don't hate it. I'll eat it if it's offered to me, like at a dinner or whatever. I'm not gonna turn it down or anything. It'd be rude. It's just, let me get my lantern out right now. I can't see where it's ass. There we go. And so we'll sit you right there so that we have a little bit more light to work with. This drawer right here is going to be our tool drawer. I do have a lot of antiseptic and things on us. We got way too many antibiotics, but simultaneously they don't weigh anything, so I'm not going to worry about it that much. What else do we have here? Was this a food drawer? Where was our food drawer at? Good. Let's throw the whitefish in there. I'm going to keep the bass on me until morning. The fish do vary in size. We got lots of pork and beans, just in case you're into that. Never been a fan of pork and beans either. Never been a fan of pork and beans. Every now and again I'd eat it when I was in college just because I was broke and you can get it for like 35 cents a can. But still, not my favorite offering. There was a lot of foods that I killed in college. Like, when you go to college, you end up broke for long periods of time. Like, even if you're working, even the people I knew that had, like, side jobs and things like that were broke in college. I actually coasted through on scholarships and YouTube and financial loans, which was a terrible mistake. Probably shouldn't have done that. But, at the same time, I don't know. Times is tight when you're in college. They get bad. They get nasty. I need the jerry can to go back into over here. But let me refuel my lantern first. Let me pick you up real quick, buddy. And now that I got you, lantern, are you full up right now? It's got 0.8. Let's refuel it real quick because we do have a can of kerosene right now. So I see no reason. Okay, so it holds 1 liter of kerosene. That's not too bad. And then we'll drop you right there. I try to bring those with me every single time that I go out because you never know when you're going to end up like in a super dark location where you're not able to see ass. And so in the interest of seeing ass, because if you can see ass out here, I mean, what a donkey would be doing out in the middle of the Canadian wilderness, I don't know. But if you can see one, you might as well. It seems like the sort of phenomena that you might want to report to somebody, National Geographic or something. We'll drop that right there. We got the can opener. Okay, let's put you over here in the junk drawer. At which point, we shall start to confer and figure out what it is that we need to repair real fast. And so we got 8 hours of darkness left. That gives us plenty of time, actually. What I'd like to do right now is let me get some repairs off before we go further into the game. This is, we're gonna, oh, that one actually only requires, okay, so I thought that might require, yikes, our boots are annihilated right now. Let's give it a go. Let's see if we can get these done. I don't know what she's screaming about right now. She's screaming about something. That took, how long did that take? It's going to take us 30 minutes. Okay, so repair it one more time. If I can get my boots back up and running, that's going to be a very, very important piece of gear that you want to keep in the best condition possible. Let me get rid of the kerosene lamp real fast so that we're not wasting our fuel here. And then I'm going to have her jump into bed for maybe 7 hours. And that should allow us, I think you get a couple percent back an hour as you sleep. And so that should allow us to get up into the 50s or 60s on our condition. And honestly, in the early morning in this game, it tends to be really, really cold anyways, so you don't really want to go outside until maybe noonish. So that sort of plays into my natural sleeping habits anyways. I tend to stay up till 3 or 4 in the morning and then sleep till, let's eat that so we don't have to worry about food for the day. I tend to sleep until, 11 or so before I start working on my work for the day. But then I stay up till 2 or 3 in the morning working too, so it sort of like balances out on both ends. Magnifying lens, don't need you right now. Do we have time for repairs? I would love, no, don't harvest. I need you to repair those. If you can get those up and looking better, I would really, really appreciate it because my fingies right now, definitely a little bit chilly when we go out to get this stuff done. We're playing with our fingers a lot. We're doing a lot of manually dexterous activities, and so they feel, did I say dexterous? Dexterous, there we go. I don't know why I'm having such a hard time enunciating today. It's been a weird day. It's been a weird day. Let's repair that out. Actually, we should probably wait on it. I don't know. I'll harvest you, though, because we don't need 2 toques. Fool of a toque! And so we'll get rid of the one that's not quite as intelligent as the other toque. And once we've got that, I think we've got no extra pants, no extra underwear, no extra socks. Things are looking okay. We could repair these for right now. That'll give it 40%, which will basically put it up back to like new, which will help out. We have no failures so far, so we're getting better and better at repairing, which is awesome. We got a little bit of leather left. Let me store the remainder of all these goodies that we have laying around. We can tear up one of these old sleeping rolls over there, and that'll give us 10 more cloth when we need it, but for right now, we don't need to worry about it. So we'll transfer that over, transfer that over. We got our fishing hook, so a couple options for the day. We can either go back out and fish for a little while, this time bringing our firearm in case one of those wolves. We could also go try and find the wolf's corpse, because I got its health down pretty low. It's probably pretty close to dead. I mean, that's probably what I'll do. Let's go back out. We'll see what the temperature's looking like, and if the temperature isn't too miserable, we'll be able to fish for a bit. It's -10. That's bad enough, and foggy. Let's stay inside the house, and we'll continue to do some random, like, maintenance tasks and things. Like, let's start foraging wood. Just see what it looks like after an hour. We'll see if we can get some reclaimed wood. And actually, what we could really do with the reclaimed wood is we could use it to heat ourselves while we fish, but I don't know, might not be the best use of our utilities here. Still got plenty of water remaining, so we don't have to worry about that for a while. Go back outside and see how the weather's faring. Okay, looks like the fog burned off. It's -8 right now. That gives us, hey, there's the dead wolf right there. So it died. I was in the middle of a fog, and it ran off into the fog after I stabbed it in the face. And so I wasn't sure that we were going to be able to use the body, but it actually looks like we should be able to reclaim a pretty good chunk of the resources that he has deposited onto the snow. He shouldn't have come and fight with us. We told all the wolves in the area. We dropped flyers and everything before we crashed the plane. Listen, wolf, I'm more badass than you. I will kill you with a knife. Although, honestly, I looked up gray wolves, and they weigh like 85 pounds. And the prospects of fighting an 85-pound animal with a knife when it's equipped for combat better than you, it seems like a bad plan. You might be able to kill it, but I'd be willing to bet it's probably going to do a lot of pain to you as well. It's going to take us about an hour to get all of that taken off the wolf, but this is very, very valuable material. The reason being is that that's going to give us 3,500 calories. We also want to take his hide because later on in the game, if you can get yourself 5 or 6 wolf skins together, you can make yourself a wolfskin cloak. And so if you're feeling especially unstylish right now, you can make Peter really, really upset, and you can make some fur hides out of the whole thing and then convert it into a long coat, which is pretty cool. We're actually looking a little bit low on cold right now. A little bit of a bummer. A little bit. I think if I could forage... Oh, we can't. Can we forage this right here? See if you can give me some softwood real fast. If we can find some softwood, what we can do is that we can actually heat this room up right here so that while we fish, we aren't wasting our time. So we got 1 cedar firewood. And then I would say to get 1 hardwood in there. The hardwood tends to burn a lot longer because it's a little bit more condensed. That's the difference between hardwood and softwoods. Softwoods tend to be made up of little microcells internally. And it means that they burn very, very quickly, but they tend to readily catch fire. Whereas hardwoods tend to be very, very dense, which means it takes them a lot longer to catch fire. But once they catch, they've got a lot more material that can burn. I'm going to go for this right here because we don't have a whole lot of time to waste today. And I'd like to get a fire up and running inside of here. I would highly recommend that if you're sitting on the edge of it just being too cold for you to manage out here, that you start up a fire. Decent plan, because it will help get rid of the cold, unless it gets ridiculously cold out here. And in that case, there's not going to be much you can do about it anyways. Let's chisel a hole in the ice. I'm going to try and get a bunch of fish and a bunch of meat ready for the future so that as we explore other locations, we don't have to worry about our food supplies. So let's go. How much time do we have on the fire right here? Got 3.5 hours. Let's go 3 hours. That'll give me a little bit of time to play with. Caught a lake whitefish. Good, good, good. Come on, fishies. I know you want to bite. I know you want to bite. We got another lake whitefish. Not that useful, but still better than nothing. Fishing line snaps, so let's give it another hour. We'll see how this whole thing plays out. We're almost out of calories for right now. Let it play out for another hour, because I don't think we're going to freeze to death anytime soon. Got a little bit of time to play with. There's another whitefish right there. It looks like we've just about hit the boundaries on a lot of our pivotal, I suppose, stats. So we'll drink the water real quick. Hunger's looking a little bit nasty. Fatigue's a little bit nasty too. 2 hours of daylight left though, so I think I would rather just go for it. Yeah, line snapped. So they're not going to let us have it. They're not going to let us have it. Still, a pretty positive day, all things considered. We managed to get a lot of stuff done. We have a lot of food that we're bringing back with us. And so anytime that you find yourself with a surplus in a survival situation, that means that you've got excess calories. Because the mindset that you have to have when you're working your way through a survival situation is that you've got to think about caloric balances. And so if it costs you 500 calories to get 600 calories out, that was essentially a waste of your time. You didn't come out on top very well in that exchange. And what you're looking for is low-risk activities that take very, very few calories. So that's why setting snares is such a good prospect. And that's why native tribes did it so readily, is because it doesn't take you a whole lot of energy to put out. Well, it does. It'll take one big expenditure of energy to put out 50 or 60 snares. However, in so doing, you may come back with 10, 15 rabbits over the course of the next week, which if you're trying to feed yourself, that one big expenditure now has made sure that you have stayed fed over the course of the entire week. And so it's just things to think about right there. We're trying to do the exact same thing here. Let's grab these cattails now that they've regrown. It'll give us something to suck on for a little bit while we try and get our hunger taken care of. We have survived for what looks like 2 days, 5 hours, and 47 minutes. We've got almost 0 hours of sunlight left, so I think it's about time that we hunker down up in our lodge and we try and get ourselves situated with our food. Maybe cook up some of those wolf steaks, some of those little things to make sure that our tummy is no longer grumbling, because it has been quite morose lately. It has been not so fun to be around. It has definitely acquired a sort of nasty tinge to its overall commentary about the situation. Because we're so hungry, I'm going to eat a couple of cattail stalks right now. Those don't seem like they would be very pleasant, but I suppose if you're trying to survive, the pleasant nature of your food is not something that you tend to think about. Let's go ahead and forage some wood out of here. That's going to give us, we got 417 right there. That'll put us into the negative, but it'll give us 4 of the things that we need. Our condition is going to start to fall off. That's okay, not that big of a deal. On this side, I'm going to use some accelerant to get the fire started, because that will allow us to use some of the cattail heads. Yeah, why not? Use some of the cattail heads right there. Oh, you don't go negative anymore. You used to go negative on your calories, but I guess that's... I guess that's no longer a thing that you have to worry about. I guess it was in the other drawer. So let's rifle through some of these drawers right now. We got a lake whitefish that I'll probably bring over and eat in just a moment. I'll start cooking all this stuff too. Save all of our other random goodies. And so where's that whitefish at? That's going to give us 446. Good. That should buy us a bunch of time, actually. So that'll give us a good hour or two to get some of this fish cooked. Alrighty, so we got wolf meat. Actually, we don't have a whole lot of fish. We only have whitefish, which is a little bit disconcerting because that's only 400, 500 calories. Still, it's better than going into our pocket supplies for right now. Let's cook up a little bit more right there, paying special attention. We have an hour and a half left on this fire, and so I try to pay attention to how much time it's taking me to cook things up. It's taking about 30 minutes per steak, and so we'll just keep that going for right now. We should have plenty of time to restoke the flame in just a moment. If we don't, it's okay. It's a chance for another skill up, so I tend to not worry about it that much. That'll give us enough wolf steaks to where we should be able to bring our condition up to maybe 85, 90% tonight. Then we'll go down and look at the train tracks because we do have a pretty large surplus of food right now. So I think we're going to be in a very, very strong spot to go out and explore, do a little bit of adventuring. Eat 2 of those, maybe even 3 of these little bad boys right here. Yeah, 3 of them actually. And so there it is. How much time we got left on the stove? Let me grab a little bit of fir firewood from right here. Now that we got the fir firewood, that should give us another hour and a half. There it is. We'll get the rest of this cooked. We're sitting on a real strong store right now. A real strong store. How it got that way, I don't really know, but it manages to sell its wares perfectly fine, given its current body mass, so what are you going to do about it? As long as it remains productive, I don't mind. That's the way that I would think about it. So we've got that right there. We've got Lake Whitefish, okay. Get all of those done, and then we'll stock them up inside the drawer for later. And we'll be very, very solid to maybe even go to the dam tomorrow. I don't know. We'll go to the dam. We'll see what happens right there. We are going to have to deal with a close-range wolf if we go to the dam, so that might get us into a little bit of trouble. But if we can get all of our food done, it's going to please me greatly. Very, very greatly. I may keep it around a little bit longer, whatever it is. So there we go. We could melt off a little bit more snow with our time. Meh. Feeling lazy. Feeling very, very lazy about it. So I apologize about the darkness right now. I'm going to try and get that over there. And we'll drop those all in, although that is going to use up a lot of our space. We'll eat them in the morning, and it should be okay. It's always a little bit of the darkness up in here, but you know, I believe in the thing I love. Just listen to the rhythm of my heart. When we rock until the sun goes down. I believe in the thing I love. I like that song. That song is ridiculously addictive. Like, that's one of those songs that you can listen to just over and over and over again. It never gets old. Alright, so we got a little bit of food right there. That did cost us with regards to our caloric intake. However, we do have plenty of food laying around. That should keep us stocked for the next day or so. I'm going to start keeping tabs on how many wolf pelts that we have right now. Drop you on in. I'm going to leave. Actually, I'm going to bring the lantern with me because we're going to be exploring the dam, I guess, today. And so I'll probably, let's drop off the guts though. I don't think we need to carry around a whole bunch of guts. We'll just leave those on the floor because obviously that's a super, super sanitary way to keep house here. I'll probably treat this as like a clothing slash med station for now. I don't know. We're carrying around stuff, like not a lot of stuff, but enough stuff to where, put the herbal tea up in there. This would be just like a stuffed junk drawer, I guess. I don't know. Don't put your junk in it, though. Nobody wants to get their junk closed off in a drawer. Oh, that would hurt so much. I don't even want to think about that right now. That seems really unpleasant. I don't know where all this weight is coming from, but it's coming from somewhere. It's got to be a combination of our jackets, our clothing, and everything else. We are carrying around a lot of water, too. Maybe drop off like half of that. Don't transfer all. That's too much. We're going to need at least a little bit in case we get caught out overnight. And the other thing that I would recommend is anytime you go on a long hike, I would strongly recommend bringing a bedroll. Just in case. Just in case. Oh, I'm dehydrated. Yikes, that's not good. How did that happen? Did I forget to get up in the middle of the night and drink water? This game, you can never make it through the entire night without drinking water in this game for some reason. We got 13 hours of daylight left? Well, hell. I'm just going to sleep for a couple more hours then. That'll help us get our... We're kind of like at a weird junction right now with regards to our condition. If we get bit by a wolf like one time, we're going to die like instantaneously. We're going to shoot blood everywhere, Mortal Kombat style, and just fall over on a big pile of viscera. So what I prefer is to at least have like 50% so that I know that a scuffle with a wolf will be survivable. And then what we can do is we can sprint on outside. We'll take a little walk towards the railroad tracks and see what we can find over there. Eat you real quick. It's going to give us 630, which means there's going to be 70 left on that steak. I do love the fact that you aren't forced to eat the entire thing right now so that you're not constantly thinking about the efficiency of like what you're eating or whatever. I'm really, really glad that you only partially eat things now if you've only got partial calories because you max out at 2,500. Realistically, the game should allow you to max out around 4,000 to 4,500, and then you would actually store... Oh, we got a wolf over here. Gotcha. Well... that may actually sidetrack us slightly. In fact, I can virtually guarantee you it will. So I want the food. I definitely want the food off the wolf. So let's go ahead and harvest the body for right now. We shall cut his hide from his body as carefully as this guy can skin an entire wolf in 10 minutes. You know how G'd out that is? I mean, it's not that hard. You kind of just like, you cut around the paws, you cut around the paws, you cut around, there's a line too. You gotta like strip it off. I don't know, my dad showed me how to do it, and I'm not necessarily remembering how to do it super well right now. Anyways, I know you cut around the paws, you cut around the paws, and then from there you cut like a line down by the tail, and then you would go straight up the gut and through the head underneath the bottom, and then you just peel it off. You gotta give it a good strong jerk. That's pretty much all that there is to it. That's how the whole system works. It's not actually that difficult to skin an animal. It just sort of takes like finesse. Now tanning the animal, that's a little bit more difficult. My old man is kind of like one of those Renaissance dudes that knows how to do everything, because he gets like really, really obsessed with random things every now and again. And so one of the things he got obsessed with for like 2 years was taxidermy. And so he got really... No, don't do that. Oh my god, we're about to get food poisoning. That was an accident. I clicked the wrong button. Ew, that is going to suck for us. Okay, we'll drop that on the floor for right now. Fill up the calories, and we're just going to have to keep an eye on it for a little bit. We're probably going to get food poisoning from drinking or from eating raw meat. It's not that raw, so you would think it might be okay. I don't know. I've seen people eat raw hamburger and stuff like that before, so I don't know. We got antibiotics with us. We got antiseptic. Let's go for a little bit of a hike before it hits. We're probably going to get food poisoning. That was an accident. I clicked the wrong button, so we're going to go out to the train wreck for right now. All I really wanted to do was get all the stuff off that course before we went anywhere else, because it's going to slightly freeze over by the end of the day, which makes the whole process a little bit more difficult. Oh, they despawn now once you've harvested them. Well, we're up to 2 wolf hides. If we can get ourselves a couple more, we can make ourselves a really, really cool set of armor that will keep us, like, amazingly well taken care of into the future. Difficult to repair, though. Probably a decent idea to hunt some deer, too, because you get leather from deer and you get wolf hides from wolves, and then you get bunny fur from bunnies, and so there's going to be different resources that can be applied to different things. The bunny fur gives you the best gloves in the game, the rabbit hide gloves. The deer skin gives you the best boots in the game, and then after that, the wolf hide gives you the best chest piece in the game, in case you were wondering. And so this should be a real quick walk right now. I don't think we're going to have to deal with a whole lot of problems. I'm a tad worried about food poisoning, just because our condition is already a little bit low. But aside from monitoring our condition and just sort of like staring at it for a little bit, there's not a whole lot of preventative measures that I can take to keep myself from getting sick. So we didn't eat a whole lot of it. I'm hoping I started spamming on the escape key. I was really hoping that we wouldn't eat like 700 calories worth of bad meat, because that would have been terrible. I don't know if it scales with how much you've actually eaten, but I'd like to think that it does, and that somehow in spamming on the key I've saved myself from vomiting and having diarrhea over the course of the next day or two on our character. See if I can jump up into here. There is a wolf on our right-hand side. Inside the train car, it looks like we've got nothing right there. A big old pile of goose eggs on that side, too. Hey, a crowbar, though. Hell yeah. Okay, so we'll grab the pry bar for right now, because that'll be helpful later on, especially when we run out to the dam, because they have lockers over there, and they tend to, as their name denotes, be locked. Looks like we just got a little bit of nothing over here. Typically, there's a lot more stuff. Oh, we got a deer. That's why. Okay, typically there tends to be like a med kit and some other stuff over here, too. We're actually a little bit low on bullets, which has me a tad worried. Got a deer carcass. Let me make sure there's not a wolf around, like, within eye shot that's going to try and tag me when I do this. Okay. So I'm going to go after the meat, because I think it's a good plan. We didn't bring any food with us, and if we end up spending the night at the dam due to unforeseen circumstances, it'll be nice to have. We'll take the hides, because I was just talking about how we needed those both for repairs of all of our gear that requires leather, and then B, we require that in order to make the deer hide boots. I think it takes 10 or 12 hide. We'll take the gut as well, because all of the crafted gear requires gut. Oh, there he is right there. Okay. Let me back up slightly. See if we can nail him real quick. Oh, we did bring meat with us. Wait, that's raw? Doesn't look raw. It looks cooked to me. Damn. Okay, so that's actually got us caught up again. We're having trouble getting away from our base just because, like, we have hunting opportunities out here, and every single time it gets a little bit wild. We have plenty of endurance left. Let's clean him now. I'd rather do it now and just sort of, like, make sure that we have a massive surplus than have to worry about it later. Now, you can't build drying racks or anything like that in-game. This is also working us towards getting the wolf hide cloak, which I think is important. So, while we are going through bullets and we're having problems, you know, maintaining our ammunition, I don't even really know how many bullets we have right now. I don't know if there's a way to check the rifle, like check the magazine and see how many bullets you have. Doesn't look like there is, and so since we're actually packing a little bit light right now with regards to our defensive strategy, I'm going to head back to base. So my name is Splattercat. Thank you for joining me here for what turned out to be a hunting episode. We actually managed to tear the meat and the skins off of a lot of animals right there, and I think that is going to be beneficial in the future. It doesn't make for the best, like, viewing pleasure. However, it does make for a very, very solid power play at a long duration playthrough, and so seeing as we have all the preparations in place in order to survive over the long term, I think that this is going to shape up to be a fairly long stay in the world of the Long Dark. My name is Splattercat. I'll see y'all next time. Hi-do out there, everybody. Thank you for being there with me, and hi-do, everybody.